I seldom play battle games because, quite frankly, I don't really own any. So it's a genre I've barely dipped my feet in. But from what I have played, this genre has a very wide spectrum of colors, from quirky four-player battle games like Battle Goats and heavier deck building games like Star Realms, which are probably my only two examples. But good news is I have a new one that I'm adding to this, and that is Battles of Ohnon. This is a card drafting game and battle card game for 2 players. It plays in about 20 minutes or less, or up to 30 minutes or more if you're new to the game, which I'll explain later. To keep it simple, kill your opponent's 9-card army. This game is not very suitable for non-hobby casuals because there's a lot of depth for a little card game. Let's see. Alright, so Battle of Ohnon. The game comes with damage tokens, 1 or 5. You have the fatigue, stun, weakness, and focus. Now on the player card, what you have here is health, armor, name and title, and the specials and actions. Now each card is completely unique in character, specials, and actions. And how the game goes, you'll deal 6 cards face down to each player. You'll take your cards and lay them out 3, 2, 1. You'll take the rest of the cards, deal out 4, and then place the draw pile. So the first phase of this game is drafting. So I'll take, let's see, I think this character looks really good here. You know, they have melee attack, you know, pretty good amount of life, some defense. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace it like this. I want them in the front. Okay, now I replace it just like that. Now second player goes, and you know, they don't really like any of the options here, so they're gonna take a gamble here. They're gonna draw from the top of the deck, and you know, obviously replace it like that. And then you discard from the bench and discard the card that you just took from the bench. So this repeats. You will be taking a card that looks appealing on the bench or from the deck, replacing your hand from it, and just doing this over and over. Until you've built your army. The next phase is attacking. So you'll look at a card. You have one action, and make sure you have your fatigue next to you, because what's going to happen is you'll look at the card and be like, okay, deal 3 damage. If the target would be mortally wounded after this damage, kill them immediately and heal Esquela. Okay, so I'm going to use this attack on her. I'm going to put 3 damage onto her character. She has 3 life left, and I use this character, so I'm going to fatigue them. They can't move now. Now, what is mortally wounded? If she would have had surpassed the 6 health she owns, that's mortally wounded. She survives for the rest of the round, but after the round, she'll be killed off unless, you know, there's a healing ability or something in the field. She'll be killed off, and everyone will move forward, right? Fill in the blanks of the battlefield, and that'll start round 2. So this will repeat, right? So this character, you know, has a range attack, deal 2 damage. Perfect. So fatigue them, do 2 damage on this character. You know, there's some like special abilities, like this one, for example. Like as soon as I drafted her, I was able to kill off anybody in his field, forcing him to get a new card from the bench. Like I could have used that, or you know, here's another special where if Oscar is hit by a melee or reach, deal 1 damage to the champion who performed the action. So it's kind of like a bounce back. And this repeats. So let's say this character dies off. This character dies off. This character is all dead. So you'd rotate them into a new formation, just like this. And then you take off the fatigue is reset, and the game continues. Now this continues until 1 player is left standing. I do want to start with what I don't like. This game features so many unique characters, I believe 53 unique characters, that it can be very jarring for a new player to learn all of that. There's a lot to learn with each card offering detailed actions that you have to read, and they're all unique, keep that in mind. it may be hard to get a quick strategy right away for your first few plays. The setup phase could become rushed over running out of patience of growing this army, which I think is the bulk of the game for new players, comes from that setup. But moving on to the cards themselves, I do notice that with actions, moving a card or trying to gain focus may not have a chance to virtually use their ability or attack at all, because initial setup is so important that if you actually mess that up, then you're actually probably unbalanced. A lot of the first phase relies on luck, drawing cards and flipping cards, and hoping that you're actually getting a decent array of healers and ranged and melee characters. I do love the concept of the game. I do. I like being able to set up an army and use that army to attack my opponents. It's fun when played right, and does have quick gameplay when characters become more memorable. What I did and what I'd suggest to new players, because I would like you to give this a try or at least check it out more than just this video, is start off with a handful of cards, maybe half the deck. Memorize those characters first. Get familiar with some of the characters in the game, so setup is actually less of just picking and choosing, but more of relying on memory of who I might actually need in my army to make a nice balanced array of warriors. And then as you get more familiar, keep adding new characters. And hey, look, you got expansions that are free that you can just add to the game whenever you'd like. Because honestly though, what I need to highlight is this is truly a very super solid tactical war game. Every move is seriously important, and if you fall behind, it's hard to bounce back. My general consensus is this is a good war game. The fun actually increases the more you play it because you're getting so familiar with how the game plays and the characters that are in it. The artwork takes itself pretty seriously, which relays the atmosphere of the game. It's about tactics, patience, and careful planning. And do you have the patience to wait out the slow burner of this tactical war game? I did, because I was able to hold a lot of cards back so I can truly memorize a nice handful of cards to at least get me through the next few gameplays. And honestly, I was pretty happy I did that. But hey, not everyone I tried this game with agrees with that.